An absolute nuclear-level victory lap just erupted across social media, and the hip-hop world is currently standing in pure jaw-dropping shock. We thought the feud between Drake and Rick Ross couldn't possibly get any peatier. But what Drake just pulled off in response to Rick Ross's catastrophic commercial collapse has officially set the entire entertainment industry on fire. After Rick Ross's 12th studio album suffered the most embarrassing flop in modern rap history, moving a dismal 2,000 pure copies in its opening week, while his world tour venues sat over 80% empty, Drake decided it was time to pop the most expensive champagne in the world. The Six Gods went live on social media, throwing an outrageously lavish, unapologetic celebration to mock Ross' downfall, declaring it the single most satisfying revenge of his entire life. Drake didn't just laugh. He publicly paired Ross's biggest boss persona, displaying live seating maps of empty arenas, while pouring luxury tequila for his entire OVO team. But Rick Ross didn't take this humiliation lying down. He fired back in an enraged late-night rant, accusing Drake of using shadow-banning algorithms and automated streaming sabotage to destroy his sales. Stay right where you are, because what Drake posted at the 6-minute mark changes everything forever. To truly grasp the explosive historic magnitude of this latest fallout, you have to look at the deeply personal, brotherly, turned venomous history between Aubrey Drake Graham and William Leonard Roberts II, the man globally known as Rick Ross. This isn't just basic internet banter. This is the complete, horrific disintegration of one of the most commercially successful and culturally iconic hit-making duos in hip-hop history. For over a decade, Drake and Rick Ross were an unkillable platinum-selling powerhouse. Every time these two stepped into a recording studio together, cultural history was made. From timeless classics like Aston Martin Music, Lord Knows, and Stay Scheming, to massive chart-topping anthems like Gold Roses and Money in the Grave. The chemical synergy between Drake's smooth melodic hooks and Rick Ross's booming, luxury-obsessed baritone defined an entire era of opulent rap music. They called each other family. They shared private jets, vacationed on yachts in Miami and St. Tropez, and routinely referred to their combined output as the gold standard of wealth. For years, Rick Ross benefited immensely from his alliance with OVO. Drake brought a massive global pop crossover audience straight to Maybach Music Group. Whenever Ross needed a guaranteed hit single to power an album rollout, Drake was always there to deliver a verse that would rack up hundreds of millions of streams. In return, Ross provided Drake with street credibility, heavy cosigns, and an aura of untouchable boss-level luxury. However, beneath the surface of platinum plaques and champagne toasts, a silent, bitter friction was slowly taking root. As Drake transformed into the most commercially dominant music artist on planet Earth, breaking Billboard records previously held by the Beatles, Rick Ross began struggling to maintain his position in a rapidly evolving streaming-dominated music landscape. The shift from physical CD sales to digital algorithms left many legacy artists vulnerable, and Ross was forced to rely heavier and heavier on his Drake collaborations to secure top-tier chart placement. The fragile brotherhood finally shattered into a million pieces during the explosive 2024 rap wars. When the entire industry lined up to fire shots at Drake, Rick Ross did what many considered the ultimate betrayal. He picked a side against his longtime brother. Ross jumped into the ring, dropping a venomous diss track titled Champagne Moments, mocking Drake's appearance, questioning his authenticity, and coining the derogatory nickname BBL Drizzy. Ross went on a non-stop social media trolling campaign, posting videos, wearing custom caricatured t-shirts, laughing at OVO, and declaring that the Sixth God was officially dethroned. Drake, known for his surgical, long-term memory, played the waiting game. He didn't rush into an immediate physical confrontation or engage in endless back-and-forth Instagram live streams. Drake understood a fundamental rule of the music business. Revenge is a dish best served when your enemy's balance sheet is exposed. Drake waited patiently in the shadows, monitoring Ross's career trajectory, tracking his streaming analytics and waiting for the exact moment when the Maybach empire would show a fatal, irreversible point of commercial weakness. That moment arrived with the release of Rick Ross's latest studio album alongside his heavily hyped world tour. Ross pitched the project as his grand victory lap, promising fans that he didn't need Drake or major label backing to prove he was still the biggest boss. But when the official first-week sales data hit industry tracking databases, the results were an absolute horror show. The album moved a shockingly low, 2,000 pure sales, a figure so tragically low for a legacy icon that it sent shockwaves through every corporate boardroom in the music industry. To make matters infinitely worse, venue seating maps for Ross's global tour showed massive 10,000-seat arenas sitting over 80% empty, forcing promoters to issue desperate buy one, get 50% off ticket discounts just to get bodies and seats. 50 Cent was the first to attack, mercilessly roasting Ross's low numbers in empty venues. But Drake saw an opportunity to turn Ross's commercial failure into the ultimate viral victory celebration. Music, the trap was sprung, the receipts were out, and Drake was about to host the most petty party in hip-hop history. The victory celebration officially erupted at 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That moment arrived with the release of Rick Ross's latest studio album, alongside his heavily hyped world tour. Ross pitched the project as his grand victory lap, promising fans that he didn't need Drake or major label backing to prove he was still the biggest boss. But when the official first-week sales data hit industry tracking databases, the results were an absolute horror show. The album moved a shockingly low 2,000 pure sales, a figure so tragically low for a legacy icon that it sent shockwaves through every corporate boardroom in the music industry. Music Team 2. To make matters infinitely worse, venue seating maps for Ross's global tour showed massive 10,000-seat arenas sitting over 80% empty, forcing promoters to issue desperate buy one, get 50% off ticket discounts just to get bodies and seats. 50 Cent was the first to attack, mercilessly roasting Ross's low numbers in empty venues. But Drake saw an opportunity to turn Ross's commercial failure into the ultimate viral victory celebration. The trap was spun, the receipts were out, and Drake was about to host the most petty party in hip-hop history. The victory celebration officially erupted at 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Drake hosted an ultra-exclusive late-night party at his multi-million-dollar embassy mansion in Toronto, surrounded by his core OVO team, high-profile influences, and celebrity friends. On music, instead of keeping the party private, Drake decided to broadcast the entire event live on Instagram to over 500,000 concurrent viewers. The video feed opened on a breathtaking scene of absolute opulence. Tables were lined with dozens of bottles of $3,000 champagne. Sparklers were flying, and a massive custom ice sculpture in the shape of a giant 2000 sat in the center of the room. Drake stepped into the camera frame, wearing a silk robe, holding a glass of luxury tequila, smiling with a cold, triumphant gaze. He walked over to a massive projector screen mounted on the wall, which was displaying actual live Ticketmaster seating charts for Rick Ross's upcoming concert dates, showing vast oceans of blue, unsold seats. "Look at this man." Drake laughed into the phone microphone, his voice echoing through the mansion as the crowd cheered behind him. "We poppin' champagne for the greatest comeback in history. 2,000 copies sold worldwide. That's not an album release, Ricky. That's a private family order. You bought 1,500 of those copies yourself just to chart." The live comment section went into absolute uncontrollable chaos. Fire and laughing emojis flooded the screen so fast the stream began to lag. Drake grabbed a bottle of champagne, walked over to the ice sculpture, and poured the entire bottle over the 2000 engraving, while the DJ blasted a high-energy victory track in the background. Drake wasn't done. He looked directly into the camera lens, took a sip from his glass and dropped a brutal, razor-sharp speech that instantly trended at #1 globally. "You spent 6 months calling me BBBL Drizzy, wearing funny t-shirts, and telling the world I was finished. But math doesn't lie, Ricky. God's plan is real, and karma works faster than streaming algorithms. Your tour is empty, your label is bleeding, and your biggest boss persona is officially exposed as a multi-million-dollar optical illusion. Cheers to the satisfying downfall." The clip was ripped from the stream and uploaded across X, TikTok, and Instagram, racking up over 30 million views in less than 1 hour. 50 Cent immediately reposted Drake's stream, adding his own commentary. "I told you, Drizzy." He giving away 50% discounts in his own city. The Maybach myth is officially dead. The optics were completely, utterly fatal. For 15 years, Ross had built his brand on the illusion of infinite, untouchable wealth. But Drake had turned Ross's real-world commercial failure into a global viral comedy spectacle. Inside Rick Ross's private compound at the Promised Land in Georgia, total, unadulterated pandemonium broke out. Leaked reports from staff members inside the estate indicated that Ross was sitting in his home theater room, watching Drake's live stream on a massive screen. When Drake poured the champagne over the 2000 ice sculpture, Ross reportedly flew into a terrifying blind rage, throwing a crystal glass to a glass display case and screaming at his team. Ross was trapped in a nightmare. If he stayed silent, the entire world would accept Drake's celebration as the official funeral of his music career. But if he responded, he risked drawing even more attention to his embarrassing 2000 sales. Driven by pure, unadulterated fury, Rick Ross decided to go live on Instagram at 3:15 a.m., directly from his study, wearing a bathrobe, smoking a cigar, and looking into the camera lens with bloodshot and raged eyes. "Drake, you a whole snake and a corporate puppet," Ross roared into his phone, his voice shaking with intense rage. "You over there popping champagne talking about 2000 sales? Let's tell the world the truth about why those numbers dropped. Let's talk about the algorithmic suppression, the shadow banning, and the automated bot farms your team paid for behind the scenes." The chat exploded as over 400,000 live viewers tuned in. Ross leaned forward, pointing his finger at the camera. Ross dropped a jaw-dropping, explosive allegation. He claimed that Drake and Oval executives had secretly paid massive tech firms and streaming insiders to launch a coordinated digital sabotage campaign against Maybach Music Group. Ross claimed that Drake's team used algorithmic suppression to block his new singles from major editorial playlists, while simultaneously deploying automated bot networks to buy up fake hold orders on ticket sites to make his tour venues appear empty. "You spent millions behind closed doors just to sabotage my release," Ross screamed, his face turning red. "You scared of what happens when independent artists drop real music without your corporate backing? You celebrating my downfall? I built this empire with my own hands. I own my land. I own my wing stops. I own my catalog. You don't even write your own songs." It was a furious, desperate attempt to turn the narrative and reframe his commercial flop as a victim of Drake's corporate sabotage. But just as Ross was finishing his explosive rant, a massive second unexpected twist dropped that turned his defense into an absolute disaster. A prominent music industry news outlet published a verified leaked email originating from inside Rick Ross's own record label distribution company. The leaked email, sent 3 weeks before the album released, showed Ross's executive team admitting in plain, brutal black and white text that pre-orders were tracking so low that the label was considering canceling radio promotion because there is zero organic consumer interest in this project. The revelation hit the internet like a freight train. Music. Ross was live on stream blaming Drake's spots for his failure, while his own label's internal emails proved everyone inside Maybach Music already knew the album was going to flop weeks before it dropped. The live chat erupted into total merciless mockery. Viewers began spamming clown emojis and typing, "Your own label said nobody wanted the album. Ricky, stop blaming Drake." Ross looked at the comments, realized his own label's email had just leaked live on air, froze in absolute horror, and abruptly ended the live stream without saying another word. The abrupt end of Rick Ross's live stream didn't stop the catastrophe. It triggered a global digital earthquake. News outlets, financial blogs, and hip-hop reaction channels went into complete overdrive. The narrative that Drake had officially celebrated and sealed the downfall of Rick Ross became the lead story across every major entertainment platform. The hashtags #Drake elaborates, #BB Lop, and #BB Rop, and Maybach downfall were trending at the top of every social media network worldwide. Then came the second massive, unexpected twist that escalated this feud from a petty celebration into a high-stakes corporate legal battle. At 1100 a.m., an investigative entertainment reporter published a bombshell report revealing that Drake's legal team had officially issued a formal multi-million-dollar cease and desist demand and royalty audit notice to Rick Ross and Maybach Music Group. The legal filing contained a mind-blowing, unprecedented revelation that set shock waves through the entire music business. Now, according to the documents, Drake's legal team is officially revoking Rick Ross's authorization to perform, stream, or profit from any of their iconic collaborative tracks, including Aston Martin Music, Gold Roses, Lord Knows, and Money in the Grave. On his current world tour or future live performances, read that again. Drake didn't just celebrate Ross's empty tour. He officially blocked Rick Ross from ever performing their greatest hits again. The legal demand explicitly stated that because Ross had breached master licensing and co-ownership agreements by publicly disparaging Drake's brand, using his likeness to drive promotional controversy, OVO was exercising its contractual right to freeze all performance clearance licenses across global venue networks. If Rick Ross steps onto a stage anywhere in the world and tries to perform the hook or verse to Aston Martin Music or Money in the Grave, venue promoters will face immediate multi-million-dollar copyright infringement lawsuits from Drake's legal team. The sheer diabolical genius of the move left the entire industry speechless. Drake had effectively stripped Rick Ross of the most popular crowd-pleasing songs in his entire concert setlist. Think about what this means for a Rick Ross concert. Without Drake's hits, Ross is left with the setlist stripped of its biggest commercial records, forcing him to perform in front of already empty arenas without the very songs that fans paid to hear. Drake immediately capitalized on the legal strike, posting a short video on his Instagram story, showing himself sitting poolside at his embassy mansion in Toronto, casually sipping champagne while holding up a copy of the legal notice. Drake didn't say a word in the video, but he added a caption that delivered a ruthless final blow. "You can't perform my hits to fill your empty seats anymore, Ricky. Perform those 2,000 album sales instead." The celebration continues. Clinking glasses, zipper mouth, face. The internet completely lost its mind. The realization that Rick Ross was now legally barred from performing the biggest songs of his career turned the celebration into the most humiliating corporate execution in hip-hop history. Memes depicting Rick Ross standing alone on a stage, holding a microphone in total silence, flooded TikTok and X. Promoters who had booked Ross for upcoming festival appearances began panicking, calling his management team, demanding to know if he could legally deliver his promised setlist. Inside Ross' camp, absolute total breakdown occurred. Sources inside Maybach Music revealed that two major festival organizers in Europe immediately placed Ross's upcoming headlining slots on administrative hold, citing the legal risk of venue copyright lawsuits from Drake's legal team. Ross was facing complete professional checkmate. His album had flopped, his tour was empty, his own label had admitted there was no demand, and now Drake had legally stripped him of his biggest hit records. Driven to the absolute edge of desperation, Rick Ross's legal team launched a frantic, emergency counteroffensive. They issued a public statement claiming that Drake's cease and desist was an illegal, bad faith attempt to restrain trade and sabotage an independent artist tour, announcing that they were filing an emergency federal injunction to block Drake's performance restrictions. Ross's lawyers argued that Aston Martin Music and Gold Roses were joint cultural assets that belonged to the fans, and that Drake was abusing his corporate power to destroy Ross's live touring business. But just as the public was waiting to see if a federal judge would step in, Drake's legal team dropped a single, terrifying response that left the entire industry frozen in suspense. "We welcome the court hearing because formal litigation will require Rick Ross to present his complete unedited tour ticket sales, streaming accounting, and venue capacity data under federal court oath." The threat was lethal. If Ross pursued the injunction, he would be legally forced to lay bare his exact, embarrassing ticket sales data in public federal court records for the entire world to see. The entire global entertainment landscape erupted into absolute, unprecedented madness as the celebration and war between Drake and Rick Ross reached a fever pitch. The culture was fiercely divided, creating one of the most toxic, aggressive online debates in music history. On one side, number Team Drake and OVO supporters declared a total, decisive victory. Fans flooded comment sections across every platform, hailing Drake as a cold-blooded strategic genius who had delivered the ultimate payback for Ross's betrayal during the 2024 rap wars. Drake gave Rick Ross his biggest hits for 10 years. Ross turned on him and Drake turned his album flop into a national holiday. One viral tweet with over 180,000 likes read, "You can't call a man BBL Drizzy for 6 months and expect him not to celebrate when your album sells 2,000 copies." Drake completely wiped him out. On the opposing side, number Team Ross and hip-hop purists fought back aggressively, accusing Drake of being petty, arrogant, and using corporate legal tactics to destroy an authentic hip-hop pioneer. Drake throwing a whole party to celebrate another black artist's low album sales is corny and toxic for the culture. An influential music blog argued stripping an artist of the right to perform collaborative songs that shaped an era is petty and malicious. Drake is acting like a corporate executive, not a rapper. Major music executives and festival promoters held emergency private calls to discuss the massive legal precedent set by Drake's performance ban. Industry insiders admitted off the record that Drake's move had rendered Rick Ross commercially radioactive, with event organizers terrified to book Ross for fear of facing copyright lawsuits from Drake's powerhouse legal machine. Podcast hosts, legal analysts, and reaction channels dedicated multi-hour live streams to dissecting the fallout. Analysts pointed out the stark, terrifying reality of modern music economics. When a legacy artist loses their primary hit-making partner and their live touring revenue simultaneously, their entire corporate empire faces immediate structural collapse. Meanwhile, memes mocking Ross's situation reached astronomical viral numbers. Millions of users created viral videos acting out fake scenarios of Rick Ross standing on stage trying to hum Drake's parts of Money in the Grave, while venue security guards watch with copyright papers. Every minute that passed without a clear legal resolution added fuel to the raging fire. Was Rick Ross's music career officially over as Drake claimed? Or could the biggest boss somehow find a legal loophole to save his world tour and rebuild his Maybach empire? The public was reaching an absolute boiling point, hanging on every single notification, waiting for the next explosive update. Just when the world believed this high-stakes war had reached its absolute legal standstill, A brand new jaw-dropping revelation dropped that completely shattered every single expectation and flipped the entire story into dangerous territory. At 5:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, an official corporate filing surfaced from the state of Florida, revealing that an undisclosed, newly formed entertainment investment entity had just submitted an official HIBIT offer to purchase the entire debt portfolio and catalog master rights of Maybach Music Group. The filing showed that this anonymous investment group had already acquired a controlling interest in Maybach Music's underlying distribution liabilities from various financial lenders, positioning them to take total corporate control of Ross's label if he defaults on his upcoming financial obligations, and who is listed as the principal legal representative and primary managing partner of that investment entity. A high-profile corporate entertainment attorney who serves as the chief legal counsel for OVO Sound and Drake personally. Read that again. Drake isn't just celebrating Rick Ross's downfall. He is actively trying to buy and own Rick Ross's entire Maybach music catalog. If the buyout goes through, Drake say a single word. He simply tapped the folder with his ring, raised a glass of champagne to the camera, and let the screen fade to total black. This is no longer a rep feud. This is a total historic corporate execution. Will Rick Ross find a way to block the buyout before Drake takes legal ownership of Maybach Music, or has the Sixth God officially bought out the biggest boss forever? Stay locked in, because part 2 of this historic war is dropping next, and the music world will never be the same. We are watching absolute history unfold right in front of our eyes. And this war between Drake and Rick Ross has officially reached a terrifying historic peak. Now, I want to hear directly from you. Do you think Drake was completely justified in celebrating Rick Ross's downfall and legally banning him from performing their collaborative hits? Or did Drake go way too far by attempting to buy out the entire Maybach music catalog? Is Rick Ross's biggest boss persona officially dead? Or can he somehow find a way to bounce back from this total commercial nightmare? Drop your raw, unfiltered thoughts in the comments section right now. I am going to be down in the comments replying to the best responses over the next couple of hours. So, let's get the debate going. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and get instant breaking news alerts, the exact second Ross's legal team responds or Drake executes the catalog buyout, you need to take action right now. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and turn on all notification bells so you never miss a single second of this escalating war. We have emergency sources tracking every legal filing in Miami, Toronto, and Los Angeles. And our next emergency breakdown video is dropping very soon. Don't get left behind. Subscribe right now, lock in, and stay tuned for the next explosive update.